करवा तो खाना नहीं रहेगा क्या होगा? जिंदा कैसे रहेगा करवा?
Okay. Good morning to all of you, and welcome you all to the class of Program for Problem Solving. The subject code for this particular topic is ESC 103. Okay. So before starting our class, so let me introduce myself to you people. Some of you may know me, or some of you may don't. Okay. But all of you are related to me in some places. That is, let me introduce myself first. That is myself, Orijit Dotto, the assistant professor of computer science and engineering department, and the admin related and admin of LMS, means whatever the LMS related issue you people have faced, that was solved by me or from my team in the CSC department. Okay, so this is my brief intro. Rest on the whatever the things you people will get to know in the due course of time when you people will have the classes of more in the upcoming semesters. So this is the class where all the students of all the branch is present, means CSC, electrical, civil, EC, mechanical, all the students are present here. So the thing is, I want to say that the topic is program for problem solving. So the most benefit subject it is for the CSC student, then comes for the ACE, then for electrical, and rest for mechanical and civil. Why I'm saying this? Before starting the class, this is needs to be very much clear, because the CSE department students need to go on with these particular things with rest of the 3 years or rest of the 6 semesters. From third to eighth, all of the semester they need to do only the coding. So the C programming or program for problem solving, where the programming related queries and all of the things need to be very clear. This is the most benefit or most important topic for CS students. Then come for the EC, as some of the EC students and the electrical students want to be in the coding related topic, and they shift their domain in the later part. So this is also one of the important thing. But for the civil and mechanical, you people actually are from the core area, and means you people need to work on the machines on the ground related work. So it is not too much useful, but some of you may have some energy or may have some wish to do this particular coding on their own basis, so they can do that. Okay, but if we are thinking on a field from the perspective of a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer, it is not too much of use for you people actually. But as the prescribed curriculum of JUT, the prescribed curriculum, this program for problem solving is present here, so we all need to study this particular thing and we all need to be very clear. So the thing I want to say, please uh, be attentive in the class and listen whatever the discussions are going on, so that you people can get understand as the platform is online. Okay, so as due to the pandemic situation of COVID-19, all the things are happening in online, so the faculties of Cyber Engineering College are trying their level best to teach you people the most in a suitable way to learn the subject, learn the topics in the online mode, because all the things is not actually feasible in online mode, but still our teachers are trying their best so that the thing can be easily presentable to you all and you people can understand all of the things. Fine. Okay, now the second part, all the notes related to this particular topic will be updated in LMS Learning Management System, where a course named Program for Problem Solving will be there, and you people will be in that particular course, and you people will again get the access. You people can download the notes of the subjects from that particular course of in by logging into LMS. Okay, third one, that is the attendance part. So the thing is that in the attendance part, it while taking the classes for the last 1.5 years in the LMS, I have seen that the people who are actually attending the classes, but sharing the QR code in the group, those who didn't actually uh, participate or didn't attend the classes, they are marking their attendance. So that's why it is my only decision that I am going to mark your attendance from my own side. No type of QR code will be shared from my for my courses actually. So the most important thing that all of you who are attending the classes need to write your name in the chat box, need to write your name in the chat box for the attendance purpose. So all of you write your name in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Those who will write only get the attendance. So in case if anyone have missed, so I will verify that later on, because I have the recording, I have the screenshot of the participants. But the most important thing, write down your names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. So quickly write down your names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Write your names in the chat box. Okay, mentioning your name and the department, mentioning your name and the department, all the things need to be written very clear. Fine, this is the thing I want to say. Now we will move to our topic, or we will start our classes. So I will just give you 1 minute time so that you people can write all of the name quickly, and then we will start our class. Thank you all. Okay. So I think I can see that 64 participants have already entered your name. So 65. So all the students have written down your names in the chat box. That's good. Okay, so let's start our today's topic. Okay, I think the screen is visible to all of you. No issue on that. So our today's topic or the thing is that the program for problem solving, this is the name of the course. And in the curriculum of the syllabus, that all the things are related to the topic of C programming actually. So the thing is that C programming, what is C programming, what is all of the thing, what is program, how to write a program. Before knowing all of these things, first we need to write the device on which we are going to do this particular thing. First we need to know the device on which we are going to do this particular thing. So the device, what is the device? The device, a computer. On a basic note, on a basic note, we are saying if I am taking a basic on a device, that it is a computer. Now a computer have means after basically at the starting of the computer at the pre-age of this, that it is only a computer. But now after the huge development, the computer have comes in different form, that is a laptop, iPad, this type of things also present in the cinema. And nowadays we can also do this particular coding programs in our Android phones, Mac phones, in any devices also. So the thing is device on which we are actually doing this particular task. So first we need to know about the device, that what is the device, why the thing is, what is the thing actually. So what is a computer? If we am talking about a device, or basically I'm talking about a computer, so let me take that it is a computer. So what is a computer actually? What can be a formal definition of a computer? That we can say that a computer is an electronic device that receives input, stores or process the input as per the user instructions, and then gives us the output in the desired format. Three things is there. I will repeat again. One thing, I think 65 students are there. So don't write your name twice. So it will not mark your attendance for the twice. Only write your name once, because 65 participants need to be there. So 65 names will be there. I have seen 70 names. So those who are writing their names two times, I will discard your attendance. So the thing is that so what is a computer? As I said, in the formal definition of a computer, that a computer is an electronic device that receives input, stores and processes the input as per the user instruction, and provides output in the desired format. So three steps are there. First one, receives input. Second one, stores or process the input. And third one, provides us the desired output in the desired format. So a computer is an electronic device. Why it is electronic device? Because it is consisting of some chip, IC, RAM, hard disks, wires. All of these things is present, and all of these things are actually a part of electronics. Actually, electronics. So this is an electronic device. All the devices are electronics actually. So this is an electronic device that receives input. So it receives input from the whom? Receives input from the normal user, the end user. We are telling the term as an end user. So it is receiving the input from the end user, provides and stores. First thing, the stores. So after getting the input, it needs to be stored in some places. So storing needs to be happen either in hard disk or some storage area or some cache memory, anything in some memory. Okay, so storage will be there. Third one, it will process the input. Process the input means as per our program, as per our need, what is the program, what type of program we are doing, what type of operation we are performing on that particular node. Different type of process happens. Okay, so suppose we are doing an addition. So we need an addition, we need to add two numbers. So that in that particular case, the addition operation will be happen, the addition process will be happen. Then in case of multiplication, then a multiplication operation or multiplication process will be happen. So as per our desired program or input or the need, we need to uh, follow the process. So first one, the input. Second one, the stores. Third one is the process, and fourth one to provide us the output in the desired format. So there will be output in a particular specific format. So this four basic thing is present, or this four basic, by considering by accumulating all these four particular things, we can say yes, this is an electronic device which is called a computer. Okay, and nowadays the thing is, computer is literally related in every cases. No, not actually computer, we are not going to a computer. An electronic device or electronic gadget is actually related or deeply related with our life in every aspect of scenario. In every aspect of scenario nowadays, we are totally dependent on electronic gadgets. So we need to know this electronic gadgets, whatever the gadgets we are using, we need to know or we need to study the gadgets first, because we cannot use that particular thing without knowing that particular thing. Simpler lesson, if we are talking about a subject, we are not going to pass the exam. We are not going to pass the exam if we don't study for the exam, or if we don't study on that particular subject. If we don't deeply study about the subject, then we will not be able to pass the subject properly. So same things, if we are using something, first of all we need to learn that, we need to know about this particular device or the particular gadgets. So this is a very important thing to know about the gadget. So what is computer, I have already discussed. Now this computers, the computer is a device, so we can say it is if we are saying in a one term, we can say that it is a computer that who is actually helping us to calculate, who is helping has here helping us to calculate. By calculating what? By receiving some input, processing that input, and giving that and providing the calculating result or in a desired output format. So three things we can say here. There are three things can be happening, or we can say the operations or the operating system or the basis operation we can hear, that is the inputting, storing, processing, outputting, and controlling. So the five basic operations are present here. Five basic operations are present here. So what are the five basic operations? First one is the inputting, second one is the storing, third one is the processing, fourth one is the outputting, and fifth one is the controlling. So if we generalize this, or if we summarize this particular five part, so we can say there are only three parts. First one is the input, second one is the process, and third one is the output. So this is the general term. So what is the three general term, or what is the input output model? We can say there are three general terms. We can say input, process, output. But if we deeply study, then by segregating these particular things, actually the first one is input, and then storing, then processing, then outputting, and then controlling. So what are these particular five things? So starting with inputting, what is inputting? The process of entering data and instructions into the computer system. So the input means we are providing, the computer is getting some input either from the user or from the programmer, whoever it will be, for some particular operation. So the process of entering data and instruction into the computer system is called the inputting. The process of entering data and instruction into the computer system is called inputting. Then storing, it saves data and instruction to make them readily available or additional processing whenever required. So the data needs to be stored somewhere, because if we don't store the particular data, then we will not be able to process those particular data whenever it is required. Maybe it is required instantly at an instant moment, or maybe it is required on a later part. So if it is required on a later part, then we need to store it somewhere, or whether it is required in instant part, then also we need to store it somewhere for the processing purpose. So storing means saving the data. We need to save our data and instruction to make them readily available for the initial or additional processes whenever it is required. Third one, the processing. Then one of the important thing, that is the processing. We need to process all the things. So processing or performing the operations. So the operations can be arithmetic operations, operations can be a logical operation, any type of operations can be it is okay. So we need to perform the process, we need to follow the process to get the output. So what is the process? The process may be some type of additional arithmetic process, the process may be some type of logical process. So two type of basic process we know, that is some arithmetic process and other one is some logical process. So what are the arithmetic process? If we are talking about that, the arithmetic process are add, subtract, multiply, and division. So these are the four processes for the arithmetic operation purpose: add, subtract, multiply, division. And in case of logical operation, we can say that comparisons, equal to, lesser equal to, greater than equal to, all of these things is actually comes under the logic, where the logical things will be required. So two type of processes or operations can be happen. One type of is this arithmetic operations, second one is the logical operation. Then comes the output part, then comes the output part, where we can see that the process of producing the useful information or result for the user, such as in a printed or in a visual display. So second, last fourth one is the output part, where the input or the information is processed, and then as per the process of the input of the information, the output is comes into the scenario where the output may be in some printed things, or the output may be this visual visualizing in the display. Okay, so this is the output. Last one is the controlling, directing the manner and the sequence in which all of the operations are performed. So we need to control all of these particular, the above four particular operations: input, storing, process, output. We need to control this process, otherwise we will not get the output. So we need to follow these particular sequences, where the input will be 1, the storing will be 2, processing will be in the 3, and 4 will be the output. So we need to control this particular 4 in the following sequence, so that we can get the output. So this is the 5 basic operations of computer system we can talk about. Fine. So now we can say that, in related to that, the basic parts of a computer, or the basic organization of a computer system. This is a diagram we can see here. So in the diagram we can see there are some input unit, there are some storage unit, there are some output unit. And in the storage unit we can see many things like a secondary storage, primary storage, control unit, or arithmetic logic unit. This type of things is present. So this is the basic structure of how a organization of how a computer system is organized, actually how the thing is actually getting processed, how the thing is actually organized in the computer. So this is the basic diagram, or we can talk about. So where we can see that is the first one is the input unit, second one is the storage unit, third one is the output unit. So in input unit, the first we can see the arrows also. So the arrows is actually helping us to follow the route or follow the path. So the arrow is actually used here to use the follow the route or follow the path. So in input unit we can see a program or data related information is actually getting inputted. So first thing is input getting from the program, or the data is getting inputted. Then it is followed by the secondary storage, storage unit. It is followed in the process of storage unit. Then it is followed in the output unit. So these things, there are two things actually. First one is the arrow, that is indicating flow of instructions and the data. So the arrow is indicating flow and instructions of the data. Second one, a dot line. So the dotted line is indicates the control exercised by the control unit. So the control unit, in the storage unit part we can see four things: secondary storage, primary storage, control unit, and the arithmetic logic unit. So these are the four particular things, that is the process. So talking about one by one, first one is the input unit. So what is an input unit? An input unit of a computer system performs the following functions. So the input unit of a computer system performs the following functions. So what are the following functions are? First one, it accepts or reads the instruction and data from the outside world. It accepts and instructions and the data from the outside world. So the input unit accepts or reads the instructions and the data from the outside world. Outside world means now the world will not provide any type of data. The data will be entered by some end user. The data will be entered by some end user. Second one, it converts this instruction and data in computer acceptable form. Yes, this is a very important thing, because the computer only understand the thing, or the two digits actually, that is the 0 and 1. And whatever the things is actually processed in the computer, all are the combination of this 0 and 1 form. We can say it is a binary form. So suppose we are writing a name. Okay, suppose we are writing computer. So it is in a some words, computer. So the computer actually don't understand it, what is C, what is O. So for every particular letters, there are some decimal or hexadecimal or binary format, everything is present. So the keywords will getting converted into this particular hexadecimal, binary, or decimal, whatever the forms are. and then the things will be processed. Okay, so how this conversation will be done, this is in the parts of in electronics. Okay, in basic electronics or digital electronics, you will learn there the how the conversation is done here. So this is the thing that computer only understand the combination of 0 and 1. So the data or the input, whatever the information is actually getting inputted from the end user, it needs to process, or it needs to be converted into the computer acceptable form. Third one, it supplies the converted instruction and the data to computer system. So third one, it supplies the converted instructions. It supplies the converted instructions and the data to the computer system for the further processing. For the further processing means then the storage unit comes into the scenario, and all the things how the process will be done then into the comes in the scenario. So after the input unit, then we will move forward for the output unit. Then output unit means an output unit of a computer system performs the following instruction. Means first one we can say by the name that the output will be displayed by the output unit. So it accepts the result produced by the computer, and then we can see that, or we can visualize that with the help of this output unit. So the output unit helps us to produce the output, whatever the data or information is processed as per this particular thing. Okay, then it converts these coded results to human acceptable form. It converts this coded result into human acceptable form, and it applies the converted results to outside world. Now the thing is that in input sections, the whatever the input or whatever the data is getting inputted from the user, it will be converted into the machine language, or it will be converted into a computer understanding language. Then at the time of output, the language or the output is in some machine instructions. So that needs to be again converted into a human understandable form, because human to know about to read the particular combination of hexadecimal on the numbers, binary, digital decimals or digital, it will be very hectic. So we need to process that in a computer human understandable form. So that thing here again it will need a conversation. So in the input unit, one conversation is happening for the computer instruction process. It will be converted into a machine instruction, and in the output unit, it will again converted into a human understandable form. So this is two things, that is input and output unit. Then the storage unit. The storage unit, it is a unit of a computer system holds or the following. So where the system holds the data or system stores the data and instructions required for processing received from input and devices. So the storage unit, in the storage unit, the data and the instruction required for processing, the data and the instructions required for processing received from input devices, intermediate result of processing. So the result are here processed, and the data firstly stored here, and then it is go start for the process, and final result of processing before their result released to an out to the output devices. So two things happening in the storage device. First, the input needs to be stored, the data or the information we are getting as an input, it needs to be stored somewhere. And second one, after the processing, before displaying the output, we need to hold the display, or we need to save the display as well in some storage unit. So the storage unit is helping in two ways, to store the input or the information that is actually as our input, and second one, to display whatever the output we need to display, we need to store that one also. So now two type of storage units are present. Two type of storage units are present. First one is the primary storage unit, used to hold the running program instructions, used to hold data, intermediate result, and results for ongoing processes of jobs. First in operations, small capacity, very intensive and volatile, loses data on power dissipation. So primary storage means where the user used to hold the running program instructions, and it is very small in capacity but very expensive, because it is very high in nature, and also it is a volatile. So our primary storage device, it is volatile in nature, because if the machine shut down once, then whatever the data is present in our primary memory, it will vanish. It will not remember those particular data. So it will be remembered only the time it is open. If it is getting shut down or if it is restart, all the data present in our primary storage unit, it will be getting deleted or getting discarded. Then our secondary storage, used to hold the stored program instruction, used to hold the stored or information data job. It is in a large capacity and it is not volatile. We can get the data, we can store the data for a longer period of time until and unless we delete it. So we can say that in case of secondary storage, the example as of the hard drive, external hard drive, these are the pen drives, this can be the external storage, and primary storage, the RAM, ROM, this can be this type of things will be present in our primary storage. So then comes the units, the arithmetic logic units, the arithmetic logic unit. So arithmetic logic unit of a computer system is a place where the actual executions of instructions takes place during the processing operations. So this is the things, or this is the system in a place where the actual execution is happening. So this is the system where the actual execution of the instructions, where the actual executions of the instruction is happening or taking places. Control unit, it is of a computer system manages and coordinates the operations of all other components of the computer system. So arithmetic logic unit is actually it takes the process, or it is the system where the execution of instruction is happening, and control unit is the process for the control, to control the system or to manage all of the system. This is the two particular unit, arithmetic logic unit and control unit. So by combining these two particular thing, ALU and CU, arithmetic logic unit and control unit, by combining these two particular things, we are getting the CPU, or central processing unit. So central processing unit is a combination of ALU and CU, or we can say that it is the brain of a computer system, and it is responsible for controlling the operations as well as the executions of the operations. So CPU is the combination of ALU and CU, ALU and CU. So the system consists of following the three characteristics. A system has more than one element, and all elements of a systems are logically related, and all elements of a systems are controlled in a manner to achieve the system goal. So in the end, we can say that a computer is a system as it comprises of an integral component such as input, output, and storage unit that work together to perform the steps called for the execution program. So this is the basic concept of a system, or what is the computer, what are the things, or what are the components of a computer. These are the particular things we can talk about. So this is the thing first we need to know before processing for the next part. So we are talking about the computer. So the computer has some characteristics also. So what are the characteristics, if I'm saying, or if I'm talking about the characteristics, so what are the characteristics of the computer? First one is the speed, second one is the accuracy, third one is the reliability, fourth one is the versatility, and fifth one is the storage capacity. So five characteristics is there. So the a basic computer, if these five characteristics is happening, and if these five characteristics are performing at the same time, then there will be no issue in a computer. Speed, accuracy, reliability, versatility, and storage capacity. Speed means a computer, how much data can be processed within a milliseconds, within a million instructions per second. This is called the speed. Accuracy, how much the correct result, how much result is actually you are getting from the computer, or the high degree of accuracy. Errors sometimes may occur, sometimes may error is happens, but discarding this particular things, these errors actually comes for the chips, or for some problems in the IC or chips, but without discarding, but discarding this particular things, how much accuracy we are getting. Reliability, a computer can carry out same type of work repeatedly without throwing up errors. So if we are as a human, if we are doing a same task repeatedly for the same for in number of times, then it will be a give boring, and the output will not be so effective. So but the computer don't no type of such thing is there. A computer can do same task for the n number of times without getting bored, and without throwing up wrong output in the result. Versatility, computers can carry out a wide range of work of data entry, ticket booking, anything can be done with the help of computer. And now internet is also available. With the help of this internet and the combination of computer and internet, now we have everything in our hand. We can get everything in a single click by sitting in our home. So this is the computer, and this is how much we are dependable nowadays with on the computer. And storage capacity, nowadays we need a huge number of storage capacity, as we need to store many data in our system. So this is the storage capacity. So these 5 things need to be present in our 5 characteristics. We can say these are the 5 basic characteristics of a computer. So this is the thing, or this is the basics of computer systems. Now I am going to take a questions from one and one. So Manish have raised your hand. Manish Kumar, that is from CSE department. Kindly write down your question in the chat box, because I am not going to allow you people to speak, because if I am allow you people, then there will be a chaos situation. So to maintain the decorum of the class, kindly write down your questions in the chat box so that I can read it and I can answer it properly. So write down your names in the write down your query in the chat box for the reason you have raised your hand. Manish Kumar. So anyone have any type of doubts? Anyone have any type of doubts in your mind? Raise your hands. Then I will pick your name and ask you the question. Or so what is the question? Manish Kumar, write your query in the chat box. Okay, Manish Kumar, I am muting you. I am unmuting you. So tell me your query. Why have you raised your hand?
हेलो सर।
बोलो. Yes.
सर सर कंप्यूटर अल्फाबेटिक वर्ड को क्यों नहीं रिकॉग्नाइज कर पाता है सर?
Because computer is a machine, and there is a thing called machine language or machine instruction code. So machine instruction code में क्या होता है? It is all consist of 0 and 1. So जब हम लोग कुछ alphabetics type करते हैं, so computer cannot directly recognize those alphabets, because I don't know whether you people have studied the ASCII number system, where all of the alphabets have some particular numerical value. For every alphabet there are some particular numerical value consisting of 0 and 1. So computer, as it is an electronic device, or as it is a digital electronic device, so digital means only it can process 0 and 1. 0 for means it is depending on some voltage calculations. All the things is actually means ये सब एक के बाद एक dependent होता है. So alphabets कहीं पे ये recognize नहीं कर सकता है. Alphabet को हम लोग जो भी इनपुट एज अ यूजर, एज अ पर्सन, हम लोग को इजीली क्या लगता है, हम लोग अल्फाबेट को रिमेंबर रख सकते हैं. तो रिमेंबर को हम लोग ये अल्फाबेट्स को हम लोग टाइप कर रहे हैं जब, तो अल्फाबेट्स मशीन इंस्ट्रक्शन पे टर्न हो जाता है एंड देन इट इज प्रोसेस. सो कंप्यूटर नो ओनली 0 and 1, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट डोंट रिकॉग्नाइज एनी टाइप ऑफ अल्फाबेट्स. Okay, one thing that the time is very short, it will going to end up at any time. Okay, so whatever the queries you people have, I will make try to answer that in the next classes. So thank you all for joining in the session. The one message that please stay in your home and stay safe with your family, and take care in this pandemic situation.